Hi, third grade. I wish I was there to see you in person, but today I'm recording my lesson and I will see you next week. I just wanted to say hello. And today we're going to talk about some really exciting things. A lot of it is reviewing of what we've already done together, talking about lines and shapes. And then we're going to turn them into something very, very special. Okay, so get ready. If you don't have a pencil and a paper ready, go ahead and get one, and I'm going to start the slideshow for you. Okay, again, paper, pencil, get ready to go, and we're gonna start. Okay, our goal for today is you're gonna show your artwork to me next week. I wanna see your artwork when you come in, all the fun things that you're gonna draw. But first we're gonna review lines and shapes. Now we all know about those lines, we all know about those shapes. We just wanna remember a few things from a couple of weeks ago because we've had some breaks and now it's time to look at different things. Okay, so we're going to examine some artwork also made with different shapes, and then we're going to practice drawing animals today made out of very simple shapes. It's super fun. I hope you enjoy it. Some of you may have already done it before, which I'm very excited about. That means you're going to be an expert. Okay, so we know about those lines, right? We know about those straight lines. You want to match me? Those straight lines, those horizontal lines, those diagonal lines, those zigzag lines. We know all about those lines. But do we remember that lines can turn into shapes? Now, the shapes that you see here are geometric shapes. These are shapes that we can name, like squares and circles and rectangles, pentagons, hexagons, all of those fun shapes. But there's also another kind of shape. That shape is called an organic shape. Organic shapes happen when lines like our wibbly wobbly lines or our wavy lines connect with one another and create organic shapes. These shapes can be lumpy, bumpy, wavy, and sharp. Okay, so take a really, really good look at those shapes. Now, what happens when we use shapes to draw animals? Look very carefully at this picture. Put on your art eyes, and what do you see? Can you find shapes? Take a look. Can you find one geometric shape? Can you find one organic shape? If you see the leaf as an organic shape, give a thumbs up. If you see squares on the giraffe, those are geometric shapes, give yourself a thumbs up. What shape is the head? If you said triangle, you got it. Very good. Now look at the background. You can actually see those bumpy, wavy lines, also creating some nice big organic shapes as well. But also look at the legs. What shape do you see for those legs? Triangles. Very good. Or letter V's also. You can kind of look at it that way too. All right. So now, what about this right here? What do you see? You can actually probably type it into the chat if you're doing this class live. If you're not, then you can just kind of think about it. What do you see right now? What kind of shapes do you see? What do you think about all of this? And what do you wonder? I wonder how they made it. How did they make this creature out of just simple shapes? And friends, we're actually going to practice this one here today. And it's quite fun, quite quick, and very, very simple. Okay. All right. Now it's time to get your pen, get your pencil, and your sketchbook and get ready to draw. Okay. And I am going to switch over to my camera so that you can see what we're going to do today. Okay, so here is my paper today, and we're going to start out practicing that kind of mouse-like shape or that rat. You choose, it's your choice, that rodent. All right, now, the very first thing we want to do is draw the head. Now, does anybody remember what shape that head was? If you said triangle, you are correct. So here we go. In the middle of my paper, I'm going to draw a nice big triangle like this. Okay. Now, next, I'm going to go up to the ears. Which shape do you think we should add for the ears? I'm thinking circle. So I'm going to go on this side and add one circle. And on the inside, I'm going to add a little baby circle and connect it to the very, very bottom, just like this. On this side, I'm just going to repeat and make a copycat shape. So circle, and then a copycat circle, just like this. Now we're going to go for the eyes. Inside, they're just little baby circles, 1 and 2. Now to make them look like real eyes, we want to add in a pupil just like this. So a circle inside of a circle again. This time we're going to color it in and leave a little tiny white spot just like this. And this gives you kind of a realistic eye, just like that. Okay. All right, now we're going to go all the way down to the bottom and we're going to add that nose, which is another teeny tiny little circle at the bottom. I'm going to go right back up to the face. And now I'm going to add some whiskers. I'm going to add 3 little dots. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's going to be the beginning of my whiskers. Okay. Now whiskers are just a quick little line out, just like this. 1, 2, 3. So you can see we are using lines and shapes to create this very simple animal. All right, now we just did the head. What about the body? So the body, I'm going to start kind of in between my whiskers and my nose. And I'm going to draw just like a curved line, just a stretched out line. Not all the way down to the bottom, but just a little bit down. On the other side, I'm going to do the same kind of line, just reverse it and go about the same distance to match this one. Now I'm going to go across and connect those 2 lines. It almost looks like a gumdrop or a doorway, right? We need a tail. So I'm going to go on the side right here of the body, and almost like when we do the man with the crooked legs, we're going to go up just like this with a curved line. Now you can keep it that really tiny skinny tail if you want to, or you could do a copycat down to the bottom, just like this. You can keep it like this, or you can add a background. To add a very, very simple background, you go across with a line, jump over your animal, jump over whatever object you have, like that tail in the way, and go across like this. And now you can add a background, just like this, and you can add what we call a foreground or something in the front, just like this. So say you wanted to draw like a little tree or a bush in the front, this is called the foreground. And if you want to do something in the background, like a cloud, that's the background. So take a moment now, take about 1 minute and add on to your picture as much as you'd like. I'm going to add in some clouds. I might add in, maybe he's on a little path. He's standing on a little path. Boop, like this. And maybe it's on this side, like that. Maybe he's standing on a little path. There's a little bush over there. Okay, so this was our warm-up. Okay, so now you can see that shapes, simple shapes like triangles, circles, maybe curved lines can all turn into animals. Okay, now feel free to add on to this, continue on, but we're going to move on to the next drawing. Now, here we go. This one, I'm not going to tell you what it is because some of you might have done it before, but we're going to kind of keep going. So here it is. I am going to start today with an oval, a very skinny oval in the middle of my paper, just like that, a very, very skinny oval. All right, next I'm going to take an upside down letter U. Put it up on top, just like that. On top of the upside down letter U, I'm going to draw 2 more. 1, 2 upside down letter U's. On the sides of the letter U's, I'm going to draw a diagonal line straight out on both sides. And then I'm going to connect a teeny tiny little line, almost like a letter L or a number 7. Okay. Next step, we're going to draw a line down the middle of our oval like this. What does it look like? Can you guess what it is? All right. Here's the next step. The very bottom right here, this is the body. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Here we go. I'm going to add a letter U. And then another letter U. And I'm going to do this probably about 6 or 7 times. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I'm starting to do is kind of turn my letter U's on their side a little bit so it curves to one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I'll do a couple more. 7, 8. Changed my mind. The very, very, very bottom, I'm going to change that letter U into a letter V. Just like that. Now can you guess what it is? If you've done this before, you totally know. You totally know what it is. All right. I'm going to go back up here to the body, and I'm going to add on its wings. So I'm going to add on almost like a very similar shape to the body, almost like an oval. I'm going to go stretch it out nice and big. And as I come back in, I'm going to kind of connect it almost together like this. It's like a sideways teardrop. Now I want to go to the other side and do a copycat wing. Okay, so I'm going to start at the same area on the body, just on the other side. I'm going to stretch it out. And it's okay if they're not the same size. That's fine. Okay. Now, this is going to be not a butterfly, but a dragonfly. And a dragonfly has 2 sets of wings for a total of 4 wings. Here we go. I'm going to go underneath this wing right here. And I'm just going to do one almost like a copycat. Underneath it, maybe a little smaller. I'm going to do it again on this side. Okay. Now here's the fun part, because inside of the wings, there's usually like a pattern or a texture. And so you can kind of do whatever kind of line design you want to. You can do your zigzags, your wavy, your dots, whatever you'd like inside of the wing. I'm going to do one that's kind of traditional. So I'm just going to kind of do some wavy lines and then draw some other lines on top. Just like this, almost like the roots of a tree. Like that. And it almost gives like a bone structure or skeleton to the wing. Okay, but you can also make it a little more abstract or freestyle. And you can add in patterns and designs, whatever you would like. Again, this is your dragonfly. You are the artist. You can turn it into whatever you would like. All right, maybe I'll stick with the pattern on the bottom ones and see how it comes out. And maybe this one will also have these kind of like tree-like branches coming out. Okay. Now, this is an option. You can add on more legs if you want to, like this. Completely optional. You can add on more, because I think they have 6 like that. You can add on antenna if you want to. Really, again, it is your choice. You can even turn it into magical dragonfly, completely up to you. Now I'm going to show you how to set your butterfly in a background, okay? And we're going to use some bump and jump techniques here. So we've all done this before where we draw something and then we bump over the object and draw on the other side of it. So for example, if I'd like to draw some grass, I'm going to go up from the bottom of my paper, draw a really long blade of grass that bumps into my dragonfly. Now I want to make sure that the dragonfly looks like it's in front of this grass. So I jump over my dragonfly, continue the blade of grass, and now I'm going to go down and do a copycat, bumping into my dragonfly, jumping over it, and I'm getting a little bit thicker at the bottom too. And you can add some texture to your grass, just like that. But now you can see it looks like the dragonfly is in the foreground or in the front of the blade of grass, okay? And the grass is in the background. Woo, sounds so confusing, but not really. Here we go. We're gonna try it again. I'm gonna take another blade of grass, and this time I'm gonna swing it over here. So I'm actually gonna bump and jump over my other blade of grass. So here we go. I'm gonna go and bump into it, bump into the grass, jump over it, and do the copycat line. Bump into this blade of grass, jump over it, and come back down, just like this. And so now you've given this optical illusion that this blade of grass is in front of this blade of grass, and the dragonfly is in front of this blade of grass. So you can continue on. You can even do just a simple blade of grass off to the side too. You don't have to make it super complicated. You can try your best. You can even have some go into the background like this. You can even kind of bump and jump over again to try it out. Keep practicing. I'm going to try again on this side. Again, just have some fun. Experiment with it. All right. Now, I might keep going, add a couple more in the background. All right. So now you have the beginning of what we call a composition. All right. We have like a bunch of different elements together composed into a picture. Okay. What about this up here? The top background. What are you going to put over there? Are you going to put clouds? Are you going to put a sun? You can put whatever you'd like to. Remember, if you draw a cloud that's really small and then another that's big, which one is closer to us? The big one. That's right. And the little one is going all the way into the background. This is called perspective, which we'll talk about later. But right now, just draw little ones and big clouds all over your background if you want to. Completely optional. All right. Now, I'm going to add some color to mine. But if you wanted to stop the video now and do your own color, that's fine too. I'm just going to keep adding on color. And you can add whatever colors you would like. Just like this. I'm going to keep adding on colors until my dragonfly is done. And I might stop the video just about now because I would love to see what colors you come up with as a class. All right, so here we go. I'm going to pause my video right here. And I'm going to do this. Okay, so next week when you come to class, make sure that you bring in your dragonfly art and make sure that you bring in your mouse art as well. And we're going to talk about it and we're going to explore drawing more and more animals with shapes and get you really, really great at drawing animals. Okay, so I will see you next week, friends. Have a wonderful week. I can't wait to see your drawings and all the beautiful colors you add. I will see you next time. Bye.